So I have received a question about fear, and I think talking about fear is always very important because it's the worst. It's really the worst. Um, you have a very complicated name. I will put your name in the description. Okay, but thank you for the comment. And you're saying, if I'm creating a lot of fear and toxic emotions during the day, do you recommend to sit in meditation as long as possible? I don't think you have to sit with your fear as long as possible. I just think that you have to kind of learn or get used to being in your being with the fear so that it's comfortable. If you're forcing yourself to be with yourself as long as possible, then that's kind of self-torture. Imagine you're sitting in front of a lava lamp and you see those bubbles rising up and falling down, and they represent the emotions and the sensations and the fear in the body. And you know, in the beginning, when you are maybe you're stuck in the head more, you can become aware of the breath. If that's not possible, then I've made videos about how to become present when you cannot even focus on the breath. It's just by letting your mind run until it stops. But when you're able to become aware of the breath, then there's just the present moment. But then you will notice if you have negative, undesirable emotions and sensations in the body, then your attention on the breath will be disturbed by those sensations, and that's not a problem. That's a good thing. You can become aware of them when that happens. So you become aware of those little negative sensations in the body, and you simply shine your awareness on those, and you don't change them, just as if you were watching the bubbles in the lava lamp. You're not changing what is going on there. It is happening by itself. So you're just becoming aware. You're just simply being there. Even right now, you can do it right now, kind of like as if this is a guided meditation or something. You become aware of your inner body, especially of those more intense sensations. Become aware of those intense sensations. They will show up by themselves, and then you simply watch them. Don't overdo it. Just do it for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You don't even have to set an alarm clock. Just trust your gut feeling and do it as long as it feels comfortable to you, until you get used to it. Because if you're forcing yourself to do it for an hour, then you will lose interest in doing this. It should feel like a homecoming. Maybe you feel the fear in your throat or in your chest as a contraction, or a stinging in the solar plexus, or you have tight neck muscles. And you become aware of those things. Don't change them. There's a significant difference between if you're trying to change the breath in what is going on in your body, and if you're just simply watching. And when you're able to just watch, then that's much more relaxing. You become very present. And it's not a discipline. You don't have to like laser focus on the fear. Sometimes you can become aware of some the noises, of the breath, of my voice, and whatever's going on in the present moment. And when you are more used to being present and watchful, you can also just watch your thoughts as if they are just clouds and not really. It doesn't feel like you are actually lost in thinking. You just notice that, oh, a thought, and it's gone. We can even go a bit further and investigate into who is the one that's fearful. Who am I that is fearful? Normally, if I would ask you, where is the fear, you would look to the sensation. You would put your attention to the sensation and say, that's the fear. And if I would ask you, where is this noise, you would put your attention towards a noise and say, that's the noise. Where is the thought? Here is the thought. When I'm asking you, who's the one that's actually witnessing those things? The mind goes nowhere. And you witness the depth of, or the true essence of the mind, which is the depth of the ocean of awareness. This is I. And it's not a personal I. And now when you become aware, now that you know that you are this I, you can become aware of the fear again. And tell me now, how is this fear even separate from the I? How can you say I am aware of fear when this fear couldn't even exist without the I? If I is pure awareness, then how can you become aware of fear? It has to be that the I is pervading every single cubic centimeter of the fear. So I is not separate from fear. Become aware of anything in your field of awareness that is separate from I. There is no watcher and watched. There's just this one undivided reality that we're all sharing, in which fear arises. But that's not a problem if you're just becoming aware of it and sit with it. But don't force yourself to sit with it for as long as you can. Because that would mean that you have a motive. You try to get rid of the fear. Sit as long as you can with the fear so that it can go away as fast as possible. That's not the goal. Imagine you have a child, and the child is very sad, and it's crying. You don't have a plan on how to make that child stop crying. You just sit with the child. As long as the child has uncomfortable emotions, you just lovingly be, you are with the child until it just naturally stops crying. You don't have to figure out how to make that child stop crying. You are with the child. You are giving the child the signal that you love it by simply being there, not trying to change anything about it. But you show love just by being there. You would show selfishness, which is the opposite of love. If you would try to change something about the situation, if you would change something about your breath, if you would change something about your emotions, about your thoughts, that's selfishness because you want to have an advantage. But by doing so, you will have a disadvantage. But when you're just aware, you will get all the advantages that you're looking for. The fear will disappear. I cannot tell you when. It can take some minutes or weeks. But what happens is basically you become aware of the conditioning of the body-mind. Maybe you'll even figure out how or why the body has fear. Maybe it's not even because of your current situation, but because the body-mind has stored some information, traumatic information from the past. And when you become aware of that and those behaviors, those patterns, then you can dissolve them. You don't actively dissolve them, but by becoming aware of them, they dissolve by themselves more and more. But don't turn this into a goal. It's a path. It's kind of a path, but just know it's not. At least for me, I cannot tell you what to do. For me, it's not a path. I know that when you become aware of the deeper self, the ocean, there is no path. When you are on the path, there's the risk that you get lost. And now you have lost consciousness. You think you're a person again. Just be aware of that. And I think that's all I have to share. Alright, I think that's it. So if you like this video, if you want to, you can like it and subscribe, and have a great day.